Right. Right. No, I definitely appreciate it. Last question I'm gonna ask you is, can you explain the reparations bill, the marijuana, that whole thing and how it
So
works?
we were clear, LBS, we were clear for many years that the legalization of recreational cannabis was a political inevitability. So by the time Maryland legalized, there are 18 states or so that already legalized. So regardless of whether you consume weed or not, it was going to be legal. So for us, the question was, how do we ensure that Black people benefited economically from from this multi-billion-dollar industry? And some people focus on getting Black people access to the industry, which we think is important. But for us, it was important that Black people benefit financially from the cannabis industry, that it wasn't reliant on being in the business. Right. So the communities impacted by the war on drugs should get money regardless of whether they're selling weed or selling, in that market. So at the beginning, before the 2022 Maryland General Assembly, both presiding officers, the Speaker of the House of Delegates and the Senate President, both confirmed that the legislature was going to legalize cannabis. And so what we did was we worked with Senator Joe Carter, and she put in a bill that was the reparations for the War on Drugs and Cannabis Legalization Act. And then there was a leadership bill sponsored by Senator Brian Feldman of Montgomery County, who was vice chair of the Finance Committee. And that was like the leadership bill. And what they had in that bill was a social equity office that would give out grants. And that was their kind of like repair for the harm that war on drugs did. But what we did was we worked to base, in Senator Carter's bill was the language of the Community Repair and Reinvestment Fund. So we took that language, we went to Senator Antonio Hayes, right? Got to give him credit, and basically said to him, make sure this is what is in the bill that passes. On the Finance Committee, it's an 11-member committee. 4 of them were Black legislators. So Senator Hayes of Baltimore City, Senator Benson from Prince George's County, Senator Augustine from Prince George's County, and Senator Dolores Kelly, who recently retired from Baltimore County. And so in essence, that 4-person block is enough that if you don't have them, you can't move anything out of that committee. And so Hayes was able, with that leverage, to have the Community Repair Reinvestment Fund be what ended up in the bill that eventually passed. The Community Repair Reinvestment Fund, 35% of the revenues from recreational cannabis goes into a fund. That fund gets distributed a percentage of it gets distributed to each jurisdiction, the 24 jurisdictions in Maryland.